Hello, I'm speaking with you today from Emmanuel United Church in Waterloo, Ontario. Do you remember that television program called Star Trek: The Next Generation? And in a few of those episodes, they featured this race of people. They were part human, part machine, and altogether they were called the Borg. And they would relentlessly go through the galaxies, defeating different races, these different people and their technologies, and it would all be assimilated into this one monolithic structure called the Borg. And even their minds would be wired into this one central mind so that they would all be the same. And they couldn't be defeated. And so the first time I was watching this and I heard their favorite phrase, "Resistance is futile." I thought, whoa, that can't be good. But that was a kind of community. Well, in this week's gospel passage in Luke 11, the disciples approach Jesus and they ask him to teach them how to pray. And he responds with what is known as the Lord's Prayer. Now that too is about community. Have you ever noticed that that prayer is not really for the individual, because it says, "Our Father who art in heaven, give us this day our daily bread. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us." So Jesus is also speaking about community, but this is a community about relationships, not like the Borg. The Roman Empire was more like the Borg, as it defeated other people and assimilated them into their empire. In one of the African languages, there is a word, and the word is Ubuntu. And while that word is hard to define, essentially what it means is, I exist because you exist. I am because you are. And what you do affects me, and what I do affects you and everyone else. And I believe that this is the kind of community about which Jesus was speaking. This is the kind of wholeness that he intends every time he mentions the kingdom of God. We are interconnected. Even our forgiveness from God depends upon how we forgive one another. Now today, many churches that are declining in numbers might be tempted to envy the Borg and their relentless growth. I mean, after all, you can't argue with numbers. We would have the numbers. But if we grew just for the sake of growing and had numbers just for numbers' sake, I don't know who we would be. We, for example, would no longer be Emmanuel United Church. Rather, we would be, I guess, the Emmanuel Borg. The kingdom of God recognizes the individual who accepts this connectedness, who lives out of this wholeness. And so we are not both human and machine like the Borg, but we are rather both human and divine like Christ. And we have this inner wholeness, and we are invited to recognize that and to live out of that. Can we remember that when we say together this ancient prayer? Thank you.